Welcome to the Italian Vegan. This is already, I can't believe this is already the 7th class that we run. And today we'll be doing 2 aubergine dishes. They are classic of the Sicilian, traditional Sicilian dishes. A couple of things before we start with the all, in particular those of you that contributed to our good causes. We obviously this event is free, so you're welcome to come for free. But if you can just contribute what you can, because we raise money for good causes, in particular for Buy One Give One, which is a charity that supports many impacts across the world, and all without taking any money at all in admin costs. So everything we raise goes directly to the worthy causes that we support. This week's in particular, we've given 90 nights of shelter and a comfortable bed for children in Vietnam that sleep rough every day. So this is one of the things that we've done, and it's like every time we support a different.
You've mentioned this before.
Okay, the other thing I wanted to discuss, I mean, especially for those of you that are here for the first time, this is a Zoom class. Obviously, it's live. You'll see me cooking live. So that there is not too much noise in the background, I'll ask for everybody to mute their microphone. But obviously, if there are things that you want to ask during the class, okay, let's get started then. Let me talk about the ingredients that we are using first. So we're doing 2 dishes: the caponata, which is kind of like an aubergine stew, and then we do pasta alla norma, which is pasta. We normally use short pasta, so we'll be using penne. I've got my helpful helper here that's been grating the cheese for later. Then I was saying we'll be doing pasta alla norma, which is a pasta with a tomato and aubergine sauce. And I'll quickly run through the ingredients that we're using. Now, obviously, we'll be using olive oil for extra virgin olive oil if you can, for both dishes. Then couple of nice size aubergines. I couldn't find any nice, good big ones, so I'll be using this kind of like medium-sized ones, but they're nice and firm. So I have 2 for the caponata and 2 for the pasta. Then for the caponata, we'll have 1 red onion. We need some green olives. Now I've got these ones already without the pit, but if you have ones with the pit, hopefully by now you would have removed it and reserved about 20 of them. And then we'll have 5 ripe tomatoes and the pine nuts. What are the pine nuts? Sorry. Okay. And pine nuts. For the pasta alla norma, first of all, obviously we need the pasta, and I'll show you what I use. We'll be using today Penne Rigate. So I've got 2 types of pasta, which depends on whether you're gluten intolerant or not. This is the wheat pasta, and it's the ones that are easily available is by far the best one. It's called the Cecco, and it's really nice. If you are gluten intolerant, then this is the best one that they are found, which is Barilla Gluten Free. these are the two. So if you're not intolerant, I'll suggest using this, and this is the one I'll be using today. Or if you're eating gluten-free, then use this one. Okay, then we will need, depending, as I'm using kind of like mid-sized aubergines. I know in the ingredients I put like two tins of tomatoes, but I'll be using just one because my aubergines are quite small, so one will be enough. If you're using bigger ones, then you can use 2 of these. We need 4 cloves of garlic, a nice bunch of fresh basil, and then we will need some, where is it? Excuse me. You will need some white wine vinegar and some grated cheese. I'll be using vegan Parmesan cheese. That we found. I mean, if you don't have this in your local supermarket, then use another hard cheese. If you are not vegan or you're vegetarian, then normally with this dish you'll be use ricotta salata, which is a traditional, again, Sicilian cheese. Or failing that, you could use pecorino. Okay, so let's get started now. What we do, we will cook the caponata first, so the stew, as that is traditionally a starter and it's served cold. So it doesn't matter if we cook it and then we let it cool down, because this is the way that generally is eaten. Often is cooked the day before to eat at lunch the following day. Okay, so the first thing.
Sorry to interrupt, Luca. Sorry to interrupt, but there are three members who are not muted. Hello.
We'll get the capers, and what we'll do, we'll drain them. We'll take a couple of tablespoons. You will drain them of the water that they come with. Actually, there's all that's left here. And the running water. And then what we'll do, we put them in a bowl and we soak them for a little while. Obviously, capers are very, very, very salty. I wanted to remove some of that, so we'll soak that and we'll come back to it later. In the meantime, in another little bowl, okay, here.
There are 3 members that are not muted. Could they possibly mute their?
Yes, could you? There's some people that are not muted their microphone. Can you, or you can do it from there if you can see.
You can mute all. You can mute everybody, Luca.
Really sorry, Luca. Can I ask a?
Yeah. Okay, so we take the pine nuts. So these are the lovely pine nuts. They're very nutty, very rich. And we will measure out 50 grams.
You can't hear me.
No. Okay, so we got 50 grams of pine nuts. And what we do, and without any oil or anything, we toast them lightly. Okay, so we turn the heat up, and we just toast them for a few minutes. So I'll leave them there. To toast for a little while. In the meantime, while this is doing, we don't want to watch this is equivalent to watching paint dry for entertainment value. So while that is happening, I'll start preparing the garlic and removing the skin.
Luca?
This is particularly hard to clean garlic. Very fresh. So we'll have this. What we'll do, we prepared it for both dishes. I will need about six cloves of garlic. So we clean it so we have it ready for both the starter and the main course. Yes, Rosalind, you were trying to ask something?
Can she unmute herself?
Yes,
What
of
did
course.
what did you do with the capers? Because I couldn't hear what you were saying.
If you click on participants,
Yeah.
and then you can unmute yourself. Yeah?
Hold on.
No? Sorry?
I've unmuted.
Rosalind, we can't hear you. Can you put the volume up, maybe?
No, we still can't hear.
No?
Don't know.
Can you put the volume up on the phone, maybe? Oh, wait.
She's asking about the capers. Okay. It was our own so about capers.
So try again.
She's asking about the capers.
What about it? So Rosalind is asking about the capers.
What did you do with the capers and how much?
The capers I've got about 2 tablespoons of capers. I just drain them and then wash them under running water and then put them in a bowl with fresh water to soak at the moment. So they're there in a bowl, soaking away. I don't know. We can't hear you for some reason, Rosalind. Okay, so almost finished with these. Every now and again, just give it 5 minutes. So this is almost ready, by the way. Just turn the down a little bit. So we just need to lightly toast them. We don't need to burn them, as I'm doing right now. Okay, so actually these are nice and toasted already. Okay, so I'll turn these off. Let them cool down a little, and then we'll be placing them in a bowl to use. We need to use those right towards the end. So. Okay, let's finish cleaning my garlic, and then we can get going with the aubergines. Okay, this is the last one. There's a couple of things that are kind of like time consuming in this. It depends on if you go electrical things or not, but one is grating the cheese. There's quite a lot of cheese that's needed at the end of the pasta. So I've asked you if you could to prepare it beforehand. And the other thing is just like preparing the olives. So if you have got some that are not already without the pit, by now hopefully you would have cleaned them and be ready to use. So let's start with the aubergines now. We just at the moment, we just obviously, I just washed these. So because we use obviously we use the skin as well. So we just top and tail them, and then I'll be roughly cutting them in chunks. First of all, what you want to do with the aubergines is check that when you cut them to see if you got some of them, like this one, for example, has a little bit of a fluffy center. So I just remove the kind of like the fluffy center, because that otherwise it will absorb an awful lot of oil. and it doesn't add much to the flavor. So
Okay. Where's the cover?
He's muted.
she's muted. Okay. Okay. So we just cut the aubergine in chunks. Sometimes they're a bit too big, and we can cut them in half like this. Okay, so that's number one. What we'll do is that depending on the size of the pan that you have, but let's do this so that everybody can do it at the same time. If you really got a large pan, then you could cook them all at once. But for most people, they will need to do it in 2 batches. So let's do it like this. So we put a glug of, this is the technical term, is a glug of olive oil in the pan. Let's see, we need to, depending on the aubergine you're using, we might need more or less. We don't want.
You need to go outside.
Ones.
Wi-Fi network does not appear to be connected to internet. I keep losing your video.
No, no, Brindle.
Wait, are we okay? Are we?
Yeah. Unsteady internet.
What did it say on our thing?
Yes. And he's saying keeps losing us.
Oh, I'm really sorry. Apparently, our internet at the moment is unsteady, so there might be some.
That's okay. No.
Yeah, there might be a few problems. We'll try. We'll keep going, and the recording should be available anyway later in case you miss something. So we start with the first aubergine. We place it in the pan with the hot oil, and we use you've got your dried oregano. They all absorb some oil. You might need to add a little bit more, like these are all, you already have absorbed most of it. Okay. Okay, we have an internet connection problem, so I'm sorry if the video keeps going on and off, but not much of it.
Deborah, can you mute yourself, please?
Okay, so we'll be cooking this for a few minutes, and every now and again you might want to turn the aubergines.
Sue says I have mixed dried herbs or fresh oregano, which is better.
In this case, you want to use the dried herbs. So
Could you all unmute yourself? Could you all mute yourself as well? Because there's some noise in some of you.
you can go into participants and then use it in case people can't do it. Okay. Okay. So at the moment while this is doing, I'll go and cut the rest of the aubergines. Poi fanno la bolletta. Okay. So we'll be preparing the other batch of aubergines in chunks. When it's quite thick, you can make the chunks a bit smaller. Okay. Sorry, but we are seeing. Sorry, the video is got now. Can I just?
Yes.
No, it is got now. So we shouldn't catch anybody else.
Everything is muted. There's everybody else.
Okay, now everybody else is muted. That's good. Okay, so we should be now all okay because everybody's muted.
And what do I do with the oregano and how much?
It's about a teaspoon. It's about a teaspoon when you put the aubergines in, and it goes in the pan with the aubergines. Okay, it's together with a pinch of salt. And we cook the aubergine for about 4 or 5 minutes. I'm sure that they are cooked tonight on each side. Okay, so these are almost raw, as you can see. Almost done. You can see that there's hardly there's no oil in the pan. It's all been absorbed by the aubergines pretty much. So when we do the second lot, we need to add a bit more oil. Sorry? Okay, so now, so these are pretty much ready. So what we'll do, let me turn this off for a second. I just put them onto a plate so we can cook the second lot. Okay, so this one is done. Good. We add a little bit more olive oil. Now a glug of olive oil.
Anna says, is there a recipe method at all if I keep losing things?
And we put a teaspoon of oregano. Or in this case, as I said, I ran out of oregano. I couldn't find any in a local supermarket. That it seems to be at the moment everybody's at home cooking.
It keeps freezing, so if there are any questions they want to ask, could they put it in the chat if they want to catch up and
Yes.
answer them?
Yes, please. Yeah, feel free to put questions, any questions in the chat.
Because it keeps freezing for some.
Yeah, as we're having some problems with internet connection, so it might come and go. So feel free to put any questions in the chat and I'll answer them as we go along. So we'll add a little bit more oil here because these aubergines are very absorbent. And you'll see when they are coated. Before they start properly cooking, you want to make sure that they all are in contact with some of the oil, because otherwise they will cook unevenly. Oh, come on. Okay. Okay. So while we let that cook, I'll start cutting the onion. So we've got a nice red onion here. Okay. So let's get the onion chopped and ready. Can we move? We're ready to go in a minute. What we do, we chop the onion, keeping an eye on the aubergine all the time. And we will also slice the garlic. What I do normally, I cut almost to the end so that they are still together a little bit, the onions, and then I slice them on the other side. This is a dish where, again, it doesn't really matter how finely you cut the onion. It's fine if it's in small chunks a little bit. You all add to the color of the dish. So we got the onions, and I'll just give these another turn and make sure they cook evenly. If you can see that the pan is going too dry, like I think I will do here. Keep turning them. Maybe I might need to open this first. Not a lot, so we don't want to make the aubergine too greasy. We just want to have enough oil in there for them to cook properly. Was there a question?
Could you please repeat if we put something in the pan with olive oil?
Just put the dried herbs and a pinch of salt. That's all that has gone in so far. Okay, so while I'll leave those there for another minute, and I will slice garlic as well. we want it in thin slices. Pretty much done with it as well. What you want to do as well, together with the garlic and the onions, what we do, we get our parsley, we take the leaves off, and we'll add the stalks when we add the onions. So we don't need too much parsley. So what I'll do, I'll pick the leaves off. The leaves are used mainly for decoration at the end. And we'll be chopping the stalks to throw in the pan in a minute. Okay. Now these are pretty much done, as you can see. Nice and coated all the way around. So what we do now, we add onions, garlic, and a little bit of parsley stalks. It all goes in the pan together with the other aubergines that we cooked earlier. So those go back in the pan as well. And another little bit of olive oil. And literally we cook this for a couple of minutes.
Is all the aubergine in the pan, so
Yes, all the aubergines are in the pan. I will cut the olives in half, and I'm preparing now to use the capers. So I will drain the capers, so we can add them. We can add them to this in a minute. It's smelling absolutely divine at the moment. Okay. I'll just turn it off for 1 second. The finish preparing this because I don't want to overcook that. So let's cut the olives in half. And
Somebody said you're making me hungry.
I know, I'm telling you, look, I'm making myself hungry as well. I always do when I cook. And part of the cooking as well is tasting. So you taste always everything as you go along. So it's not just the finished dish, but it's the process. Cooking is a journey. Okay. So the olives are ready as well. So I just have these ready to go in with the capers. I just need the board. I just need the board to cut the tomatoes as well. Okay, so we got 5 juicy tomatoes. And just as a tip, if you are using vine tomatoes, these can go in as well, the actual stalks, because they got a lot of flavor. So what I tend to do, whether you cook in a sauce or a dish like this, what we want to do, we want to cut the tomatoes in roughly in chunks like this.
Andy says, I never knew you could use the stalks. Thank you.
That's okay. They've got a lot of flavor, so it's actually really good to use the stalks, and a lot of the vitamins too.
I only signed up, this is Jenny, I only signed up at 11, so I don't have the ingredients. So I'm just watching like a very delicious torture.
Thanks, Jenny. It's lovely. Jenny saying, I don't know if you heard, but Jenny saying that she only signed up at 11, so she doesn't have the full list of ingredients. But yes, the list of ingredients is on the Eventbrite page. That will also be once I post the video on YouTube. I put the full list of ingredients on the description, like in all the videos that we post. So you'll be able to get all the ingredients you need before you start, and then you can cook as you watch the video.
Someone thanks, I'm definitely going to make it later.
Fantastic. Okay, so almost finished with this. This roughly like this. Okay, so the tomatoes are ready. With these, actually, I can put these in a minute. Okay, let's turn this back on. Now, before we put the olives, put the olives in now. So we throw the olives and the capers in. Give it a nice mix. And now what we do, the next step is we'll take the vinegar and we'll add about 2-3 tablespoons of vinegar. Like this. vinegars and
Would you just drain the capers that
evaporate.
are soaking? That's Rosalind.
Yes, Rosalind asked if I drained the capers. Yes, Rosalind, I drained the capers, and they're now in there around the pan with the olives. Okay, so now pretty much a minute later, what we do now, we add the tomatoes and the stalks.
We're not putting the stalk in. Just put that there.
And we turn the heat down.
He's down.
And we let this cook.
What about the final?
It's on a low heat at the moment. So now we want to let this simmer.
Would you top the stalks or just put them in? That's from Andy.
No, Andy, you keep the stalks in one piece because you want to remove them. Because you don't want them, you don't want to eat them in the finished dish. Okay, so what we do, we leave them in there because they provide nice flavor. But then we'll be removing them at the end. Okay. So now we add a little bit of salt. If I do it by hand.
What have you done with the pine nuts, please? That's from George.
George, the pine nuts are in a bowl, waiting to go in at the end.
Thank you.
So much
Okay,
saying,
so
we can't hear you.
we don't need to cook the pine nuts. Okay, so we'll leave this now to
We can hear
simmer.
you, George. Could you mute yourself, please?
Okay, just go on to participants and then see the microphone. Okay, so now we leave this. I'll just cover it. We leave this to simmer now for. Okay. We leave this to simmer now for 15-20 minutes. So let's. I'll drop something.
How much salt did you add? That's from Rosalind.
Rosalind, I just added a big pinch of salt. Will probably be about something like about. We just get a large pan for the pasta, just with to fill up with water. This is a 6 liter pan, so would be. Need to breathe. So we'll put this, turn the heat on, and cover it, and we'll have to wait for it to boil. And we'll get going with the other dish. What I'll do a little bit of acrobatics. I'll change this to the other. Bowl.
It's freezing. It's all right, Alan.
No, it's probably a problem. Sorry if if the video keeps freezing. It's we have a problem with the connection at the moment. So we'll do what we can. So let's prepare the other aubergines.
Miss Catherine.
Sorry, what about?
Catherine said she keeps freezing. She was going to look at the video after.
Okay. So let's cut the other aubergine. Again, you can see that they got like a little bit of a fluffy center. So I want to cut that off. Everything okay? Okay. Okay, so remove the fluffy center, and what we want to do, we want to cut them like roughly in a little bit longer than we had before. So I would say cut them in threes like this. It's a little bit short, this aubergine. Normally I cut them a little bit longer than this, but these are cut in two. Okay, so we do what we did before. Put some oil in the pan, and we cook the aubergines in 2 batches. Okay, so we wait for the oil to warm up. I'll start cutting the second aubergine. Okay. Wait another minute for it to warm up. I'll keep doing the same thing with the aubergines on the second one as well. Okay. So everything okay? Anybody sending a message? Okay. So we put the aubergines in. And make sure that they're nice and coated with olive oil on one side.
These dishes freeze well, that's what peppers are saying.
These dishes freeze well.
Yeah.
Well, the sauce does obviously. If you prepare the sauce, you can actually do a large batch, and then divide it into singular portions, singular servings. You can freeze it. Yeah, you can freeze it easily. What you would do if you freeze it, then you leave the last step of this, which is when you put the cheese in. You wouldn't add the cheese before freezing, but you'll add it when you cook the pasta, when you use the sauce. The caponata as well is generally a dish they serve cold, so you normally cook it and you eat it the day after for a starter. But I've never tried freezing that actually. I'm not. Fresh vegetables and it's not a sauce as such. The first one is cooking. We add with this one. We'll add the oregano when it's a little bit later, when it's almost cooked. always make sure with a pair of tongs that you see when the aubergines are cooked, you can see when they're cooked on one side and nice and brown. So you want to turn them so they're cooked on the other side as well. Generally, when we cut the aubergines like this, they cut into triangles, so they go like 3 sides. Then need the cooking. This is fine if you've got some oil in it. But if you think that it's getting too dry, then add a little bit more oil. We pan frying, we're not deep frying, so we don't need a lot of oil in there. But obviously we still do need some. Okay. So we can add now a little bit of pinch of salt. Literally, this is just a pinch, not a lot. Just a pinch of salt. And and a pinch of dried herbs or oregano if you have it. And what we want to do now, while this is finishing to cook, we want to take the top off the pan because now the okay. So you can see now are pretty much ready. So I'll be doing what we did before. And so I put this onto a plate while I cook the other aubergines. So pinch a little bit more oil. Make sure that the pan is all nicely coated. The moment the pan is very hot, so we don't need to wait to put the aubergines in. You can hear it sizzling. But again, we want the aubergines to sorry, apparently there is a bad connection again. Let's sort out more. Okay, so hopefully we're back now. So always keep an eye on the pan. So if you feel you need it, then add a little bit more olive oil, not too much. Okay. We do again as we did before. We And the other little bit of preparation that we want to do is to get a basil. Oh, we need to do two things at the moment. Okay, we need to chop the garlic again. And also we will need to separate the leaves from the stalks of the basil. We did as we did before. Now we keep the leaves for later in the cooking process. And we will put the stalks in the pan. Slice the garlic. What's happened? What's happened? Okay. So sorry, we keep apparently cutting in and out. I hope you can all you can still see me. So we are slicing this. Okay, too hot. It's getting quite hot in this kitchen now. There's the pans in there. Cooking. Are we connected? Are we back? Can anybody reply? Can you see us?
Yeah, we can see you.
Okay.
Yes.
Are we in now?
We're back.
Okay, so what we're doing now, we turn the heat down on the aubergines. We put the first batch of aubergines back in. The garlic and basil stalks in the pan for about a minute. I won't need very long. I even lift a little bit because I don't want the garlic to burn. You should be able to smell the garlic now. So before we put the tomatoes in, so a little bit of vinegar, about one to 2 tablespoons. And we let it evaporate first. hopefully you are using chopped tomatoes. I've got the only ones I could find were these little cherry tomatoes, which are fine, but as you can see, I need to break them to release all the juice. I don't want. I mean, if you want, you could blitz them in a food processor. But actually, I prefer to have some chunks in the sauce as well. I don't want a completely smooth sauce. I think it's more interesting. In the meantime, if we look at the other one, okay, the caponata, as you can see now, is pretty much most of the liquid has gone. So we are pretty much ready. So what we'll do, we'll remove the tomato, the stalks. Don't need those, and we put the pine nuts in. While this is starting to simmer. And just let them get a little bit of the moisture. And we can turn the heat off. And we go and
Where will the video be posted? That's from Deborah.
Hi Deborah, will be posted on the video will be on YouTube. I will put a link on the Facebook page as well, and I'll send you to all the people that are here today. I'll send you a link to the video so you can see easily. So what we'll do, we'll just add in the parsley. So just I don't want to put this in. Okay, adding the parsley, and this is pretty much ready. So we just leave it to cool. The only thing you might want to do, just taste it to see if you need adjusting with oh, sorry, I just forgot one ingredient, which is a little bit of pepper.
Deborah says it looks wonderful.
So we just add a little bit of pepper.
Deborah says it looks wonderful.
Thank you, Deborah. Deborah says it looks wonderful. I agree. I love this dish. So we added a little bit of pepper now. So we just want to taste it just to make sure that this doesn't need any more salt. So the dish is ready. The last finishing touch. I say this is not. It's the heat is off now. So we just add a little bit of fresh olive oil and just drizzle it over the top. So this will be, I mean, you can eat it hot if you want, but it's even better cold when it has absorbed all the flavor. So we'll just leave it there. While we come back to this other one, the water is almost boiling, and just turn it up a little bit, so we speed up the process. So on this pan, then I have put the now the tin tomatoes. As I said, depending on how big your aubergines were, if you had two nice big aubergines, then use 2 tins of tomatoes. At the moment, I've used just one because my aubergines were actually quite small. What I want you to do now, you see, we got all this nice fresh basil. So what we want to do now, we use about half of what you have.
What is in the pan you're doing now?
This is the sauce for the pasta. So if you got some, they have got little bits of stalk, add them now. Because the one that we had at the end will not really be cooked, so we don't want any stalks in there at the end. We want to mix it in. more basil leaves. But you don't have to be too precise with basil, with disintegrate anyway. So just stir it really when you put it in. You should be able to smell it as you do. You just release the flavor. Okay, and this one that's left, I'll be using at the end. So what's left now is to add a little bit of salt, maybe about half a teaspoon. And then we let it simmer. At the moment, this because the pan was very hot, the sauce is quite dry. So what I'll do now, we'll actually cover it so it doesn't lose any more moisture. And then you just may want, depending on the tomatoes that you're using, these are a little bit sharp, so I'll be adding a pinch of sugar. So before I cover it, I'll make sure that the flavors are all there. Yeah, so the water is boiling. I will cover this pan. Oops, sorry, wrong. Oops, I made a bit of this. Let's cover, excuse me.
Yum.
Oh, yum, yum. Yeah, I'm getting quite hungry myself. And then we go and measure the pasta. Generally, I allow about 150 grams per person. So, you know, will you have them? So, I'll measure up about 350 grams. 350 grams of pasta. Okay, this is about, yeah, or about 3 small portions. Pasta in, we don't need to put any olive oil or anything else. Just want to give it a nice tail. And let's go and have a look at our pasta sauce. Look how wonderful the colors of this are. The tomatoes, the aubergines, the basil, garlic. This is absolutely wonderful. It's such a rich sauce. It's probably one of the richest for fully vegetarian sauces, fully vegan. Absolutely wonderful. You can see we're keeping the water that's generated, that's coming out of the vegetables, but we don't want to dry the sauce too much. Okay, we'll keep doing this. pan, the pasta is likely to stick to the pan, so you want to keep turning. While this is happily cooking, what I'll start putting this in a serving dish. So. Wonderful. If you want at the end, right at the end of the cooking time, you can. If this is to taste, to try if you want on two different bowls. If you want, you can add a little bit of vinegar to give it a little bit more of a tang. Okay, so.
Not put vinegar in, must have missed. At some point.
Possibly, yes, Rosalind. Rosalind said she missed. She didn't put vinegar in. It's after the first bit when we put in the garlic and the salt from the parsley. So what we want to just for decoration, just we'll add a few celery leaves. Sorry, parsley. Parsley leaves. And what we'll do, normally you serve dish either with toast or I'm using this today. Kind of like it's I don't know what we call it, a flatbread hard stick, a little bit like a cracker. A lot better than a cracker. So this is how I would serve. Voila. If you keep doing this.
It looks delicious.
Who's saying that? To say it looks delicious. Are you a spy in my kitchen then? If you could smell it, actually, it's such a rich smell coming through. It's almost heady. To add a little bit, to use some of the cooking water, I add a couple of spoonfuls of cooking water in this to the sauce. So just to give it a little bit of extra liquid that it's at the right salinity as well, because it's already got salt in it and it's got some of the starch, sorry, that's released from the pasta, so it helps with the creaminess of the sauce. So while that is happening, I will prepare my colander ready for draining pasta. So one colander goes here in the sink. So we can start tidying up a little bit as well, which is good. And I'll start preparing the basil. We'll be cooking next week. So, would you like to contribute to give me some tips? So maybe I can help. I know last week there were a few suggestions. One of the suggestions was the tiramisu, the zucchini. It was a zucchini dish from Maria, I think it was. And oh, the bolognese sauce. Yes, those are all good suggestions. What about today? Just give me some more. Let's see if we can have a clear winner today. Another couple of things as well they had in mind is to do something with peppers. So there are a couple of delicious pepper dishes as well.
Ice cream, especially limoncello.
Limoncello ice cream. Yeah, George, I know that I need to experiment a little bit of that because I must admit that I am better at savory dishes than I am sweet dishes. But I need to experiment a little bit, and I've got something in my fridge that I need to try. If all goes well, maybe it could be on the menu. It could be on the menu next week. But I need to try it first. Which I could show you happily is, I don't know how many of you have been on holiday in the Canary Islands. I know it's not Italy, it's Spain, but there is something that actually stayed in my mind, which is that little starter they give you whenever you see any restaurant. They give you what they call papas arrugadas, which are the tiny little potatoes that they do, and they give you those two sauces, one green and one red sauce. That's another dish I could show you if you enjoy, because I don't know if we're likely to go on holiday or not this year, so I'm feeling a bit remembering all the good times we had in Spain. Maybe we can contribute to the holiday mood that way. So feel free to put in any suggestions, and I think tomorrow I will make my mind up and post the event for next week. And feel free as well to put any suggestion on start, trying to finish. Okay, says that I've got a low battery, 20%, but we're almost there now. So we just have to wait basically for the pasta to be ready, and then that is pretty much done. Okay, the pasta is pretty much, it's still a little bit hard. Let's see if it's still a little bit hard. What we want to do is to finish cooking the pasta in the pan with the sauce. So
would you do that 1 minute before it's due?
A couple of minutes. So what I'll do, I'll take some cooking water, because I will need this for completing the process. So I just got basically a mug of cooking water. And now we'll drain the pasta. So turn this off. Okay, this is fine.
Yeah.
Okay, are you okay?
Hilary says, I'm really enjoying watching your cooking. Thank you. Demonstrate your personal favourite dish.
I'll mix it in nicely, and I will add some of this cooking water. I will judge how much I need to use. I don't need to probably use it all, but about half of that in. With the heat on medium. And I keep turning. I keep just tossing it basically. And in a minute I will taste it. If I think it's ready, then it will be ready. Are you back on? Okay, you're back on. So let's have another taste. Let's see if this is ready. Almost there, not quite. Maybe I've taken it out a little bit too early. So we finished, actually, I finished the rest of the water in there. So I did use it all in the end. But I think I needed it. So this is just the last little bit of cooking. What I'll do at the end, I'll leave a little bit of basil. Actually, I've got some fresh basil I can use. So now, literally, to do the basil in. Just with a little, and a little bit of cooking. And then I'll add some couple of basil leaves at the end just to show. So one of my favorite things is that when you put the fresh basil in, to actually smell it, as you can see, it changes slightly. The flavor of the dish makes it a bit sweeter and so aromatic. Okay, that's the final taste. Yep. Okay, now I'll turn the heat off. Now, what we'll do now, just the last final step. We've got the grated vegan Parmesan cheese. As I said, if you're not vegan, if you're vegetarian, you can use ricotta salata, or you can use pecorino cheese, which is preferable for this dish, preferable to Parmesan. This is the one I showed you before. It's the vegan Parmesan. Are we okay?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, okay. So I will add some while it's still in the pan, like this, and just keep a little bit. The cheese is all nicely coated in the pasta, and they all got the flavor. So I don't like what they do sometimes in restaurants when they serve a dish with a sauce and they just put a little bit of cheese on top. That's not the way that we do it in Italy. We mix the cheese in, and then we add some on the table. People want to add some more. Okay, so I'll add a little bit more. And we are ready to serve. So in a minute, I would be, although he'll complain, I would call the ravenous 17-year-old. Come to taste. No, he doesn't want today.
It's just freaking rough.
He doesn't want to come today simply because I think his hair finally has grown a little bit too long for his liking. So let me take some plates. Always a bit. finish this, plate it up. Okay, and then we'll finish it off with some more cheese on top. Okay, our live.
From Anna, can I reheat it for dinner by baking? Wait a minute, let me just read the message. Can I reheat it for dinner by for baking it, or better to reheat in the pan, please, Luca? That's from Anna. Anna,
okay. If you're using it for dinner, you're eating it later. The best thing to do is just add a little bit of salted water to the pan and just reheat it rather than bake it, because baking will make just at the end, I like to put a little bit of fresh olive oil on top. And this is the dish. Let me see if we can get the 17-year-old out. What's the matter? There he is, there with the official taster. Okay. Oh, that's hot. It's hot. So you add this in, you have to taste.
Blimey, that's excellent.
You want to take it if you want, or you can. Katrina, do you want to come out and have a taste for the camera?
That is.
Yeah?
I'll be having a hold of this.
There you are, Katrina. Okay. That is a taste for you. Right enough. A bit more. Voila.
All right, we're going to taste this together. Take the first one.
Okay, let's try.
So many different flavours. It's really, really delicious.
You can really taste, now that we put the basil at the end. Yeah. There is the freshness of the basil, but what makes this dish is the richness of the aubergines.
Very, very nice. You're going to enjoy this.
What you want to do really, have 2 or 3 bits of pasta and a bit of aubergine
on top, yeah.
Absolutely delicious. And now we need to.
And hi Anna and your daughter. Thank you for joining us. I know Anna's a good cook as well, so hopefully you've enjoyed doing this. I don't know if you're cooking along, but it really is lovely.
Thank you.
Oh.
Can you see our cooking?
This is so lovely, and it's even better when it's cold.
Lots of different textures. There's the pine nuts and the onions and the tomatoes and the aubergines, of course,
and the olives.
And the olives. So lots of different tastes.
I could literally eat this all day. So.
Right, I'm getting behind the camera. So thank you very much, everybody, and see you.
Well, thank you, Maria. I know you do. I know you tried many of these dishes already. But the one thing I want to tell you before we go is that I only cook things that we eat at home ourselves. Like we'll be enjoying this today, and the whole reason why I started this cooking class is because I want to show that vegan food is not boring, and there are so many fantastic dishes. They are, part of tradition, both the Italian, Spanish, Greek cuisine, and although they weren't called vegan dishes, and eating vegan doesn't mean vegetables every day. As you can see, we can still have fun, and part of the Italian way of life, part of Italian cooking is that every every dish we prepare and every bit of food that we eat is a celebration. So I want to bring that to the vegan world and being the celebration that we have every day in cooking these dishes, and nothing makes me happier than sharing them with you. So thank you very much. I'm really grateful for you for having been here today, and for those of you that are coming back every week. And I'm looking forward to seeing you again next week.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Okay, bye. See you next week. Bye bye.
Wonderful. Thank you. That's from Sue.
Thank you, Sue.